Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Weekend Eve. This is Brian Kress, the awesome voice, and this is Any Given Sunday on KUAW. Coach 24, Darwin Penny, is out of town again. He is trying to make the Royals better, and right now the Royals are doing pretty good. They are 22-16. And behind the scenes, running the show, DJ Scatter, George Walker. Mr. Walker, how you doing?
Well, I tell you, everything is going just great this evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, except for I've got a lot of feedback in my ears. So I don't know where that's coming from. But saying this, the Royals are on the West Coast. They've got at least two teams that they're going to play on the West Coast. They're starting off tonight against the Los Angeles Angels. And I'm telling you what, there's only two teams worse in the American League than the Los Angeles Angels, and that is the Houston Astros. And I'm telling you what, Dusty Baker got out at the right time because this team is not very good this year. And even worse than the Houston Astros, the Chicago White Sox, who could be on pace to lose 130 games, which is the baseball record. So they've got it going. So anyway, so we'll talk a little bit about the Royals later. But right now we're going to talk about the Central Midwest Football League. Now, Jimmy Ross was supposed to come in here tonight. At the last seconds, he had a situation that enabled him to make it up to the show. So we will have we'll just have it just me, but I will talk about the league itself. Last week they had after the Panthers had won their opening game against the St. Joseph Swarm by the score of 20-18. Now, that was a great game. It was. Is there still a chance you can take that stat? Oh yeah, big time. I'm hearing the backlash. So anyway, after St. Joseph, after they beat St. Joseph by the score of 20-18. And here's the ironic thing. When they had the game, now they had it postponed after the third quarter. So after the third quarter, it is considered a legal game. And so the Panthers and the Swarm both scored on their first three possessions. And it was a great game. They were going back and forth. No, really no fighting. It was just good, hard-hitting football. And then with that, they would try to kick the extra point. Every time it got blocked, with the exception of one that the Panthers returned back for a 2-point conversion, which made it the 2-point difference and gave them the victory. So it was pretty awesome. But after this, they played last week. They played the Columbia Vipers, and the Vipers were a better team than the Panthers, but the Panthers played them pretty hard. The Vipers did beat them 16-0, and the Panthers had their chances. They really did. They were inside the 30-yard line 3 different times and just did not get a chance to get a score. In fact, they were at the 1-yard line and threw an interception. So it was not a good game for them, but they played really well. Now, they will go on the road for the first time this year as they will play the Missouri Cyclones. And the Missouri Cyclones, I believe, are the second-ranked. They are the second-ranked team in this in the league, and I'm trying to get to them right now. Yep, and here we go. Ooh, yep. The week 3 rankings, the Missouri Cyclones were third, but I know they jumped up to second. Um, Joplin, which was are still the number one. The Missouri Cyclones, they dropped down to the fourth. Oh no, that they were the fourth, and then they moved up to the third. But I could have sworn that they are the second ranked team in the league. Um, oh, and I just had it and lost it. So here we go. Oh, here, yep. Oh no, there's the week 3. They haven't gotten the week 4. Okay, so but right now, um, the Columbia Vipers, after they beat the Panthers, are 8th, and maybe this is the, yep, 3 days ago. So this is the rankings right now. Number 1 is the Joplin Crusaders. Number 2 is the Oklahoma Bears. Number 3 is the Missouri Cyclones. Number 4 is the Wichita Skyhawks, which the Kansas City Panthers will play on the road next week in Wichita. 5 is the Central Illinois Cougars. 6 is the Tulsa Gators. 7 is the Midwest Titans. 8 is the Columbia Vipers. 9 is the Eastern Central Missouri Eagles. And 10 is the St. Louis Falcons. So after the Panthers were in the top 10 last week, they had dropped out of the top 10. So that's okay, but they are a very young team and they are going to learn. So here we go. So last week's games, after the week 2, so Columbia Vipers beat the Kansas City Panthers 16-0. The Central Illinois Cougars beat the Arkansas Warcats 20-18. The Oklahoma Bears beat the Wichita Skyhawks 10-3. First City Cavalry, who is not in the league anymore, so Tulsa got the forfeit, which was 13-0. So on a forfeit, usually they say the score was 2-0. I believe that's what it is in the NFL, but in the CMFL, it is 13-0. And then you've got the Northwest Arkansas Generals. They lost to the Eastern Central Missouri Eagles 16-6. The Midwest Titans beat up on the St. Joseph Swarm by the score of 43-8. The St. Louis Falcons lost to the Missouri Cyclones, who are the Panthers' next opponents. And then the Joplin Crusaders and the Springfield Punishers had a postponement. There was some issues going on, some miscommunications, and because of that, they did postpone it. So they will have that going on at another time. But anyway, so we got the standings here. We've got the Gateway Conference, and we have the Great Plains Conference. So in the Great Plains Conference, we have the first place is the Midwest Titans. They're 2-0, 56 points they've scored, and 8 points they have given up. Now their difference is plus 26, and I'm not quite sure what that difference is, but I'll have to find out. Second is Oklahoma Bears, who are tied with the Titans at 2-0, and they have scored 26 points and only given up 11 points, and they have a differential of plus 15. Then you have the Joplin Crusaders, who have only played one game, but it was 38-22 that they won, and their difference is plus 13. Then you got the Wichita Skyhawks, who are 1-1, and they have scored 37 points, giving up 10 points, and they have a difference of 6 points. Now, fifth is the Tulsa Gators. They are 1-1. They have scored 21 points. They have given up 16 points, and their differential is -8. Then you've got the Kansas Diamondbacks, and I believe with that it is the Wichita. Yeah, it's the Wichita Diamondbacks, but they are the Kansas Diamondbacks. They are 0-1. They lost their first game 34-0, and they have a differential of -13. And then in seventh place, St. Joseph's Swarm. They are 0-2. They have given up, or they have scored 26 points and given up 63 points, and they have a differential of -15. Now, the Gateway Conference, you have first place tie with the Missouri Cyclones and Central Illinois Cougars. Missouri Cyclones have scored 32 points, given up 14 points with a differential of -21. Second, the tied for first, but second is the Cougars, and they are 2-0. They have scored 59 points. My apologies. And given up 26 points, but they have a differential of +15. And then you have third place is the East Central Missouri Eagles. They are 1-0 with a 16-6 victory, and they are +13 in the differential. Fourth is the Columbia Vipers. They are 1-1. They've scored 22 points, given up 14 points, and they are +5 in the differential. Then you've got 5 Arkansas Warcats, who are tied with Columbia, and they have scored 36 points. They have given up 20 points for a differential of +1. Kansas City Panthers are 1-1. They are tied for fourth, but they are in sixth place. They have scored 20 points. They have given up 34 points, and they have a differential of -11. Seventh place is the Springfield Punishers with an 0-1 record. They have scored 8 points and given up 39 points for a differential of -39. Eighth place is the St. Louis Falcons, and they are 0-2. And they have scored 30 points, given up 56 points for a -23 difference. And then you have the Northwest Arkansas Generals, who are 0-2, and they have scored 6 points, given up 34 points for a differential of -34. Now, I do not have the list. I was hoping I could find it, but I will say this. If you go on Facebook and you go to Semi-Pro Saturday, they have a broadcast schedule for Saturday, May 11th. They have the Tulsa Gators versus the Northwest Arkansas Generals. Then you have the Bears, Oklahoma Bears, versus the Joplin Crusaders. So you've got those games. Check them out. If you get on there, or go to any of the any teams in the Central Midwest Football League, they will have it either on Facebook or Central Pro's Saturday website. Either way, you can watch some really good games. So you can definitely check that out. So we will go. Yeah, we will go and we'll go from there. So now we're going to go to the NBA, and I'm telling you what, I thought Denver was just going to stroll through the league, or at least through the Western, and play the best team in the Eastern. But right now they are in a dogfight. They are actually down 0-2 to the Minnesota Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has totally been lighting it up for the Timberwolves. So they are really getting it going. And in the other league, the Oklahoma City Thunder have a 1-0 advantage over the Dallas Mavericks as they play tonight, which I believe will be 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, our time. and it will be on ESPN. So definitely check that out. Now the Nuggets go to Minnesota and play the Timberwolves. So the Timberwolves took care of business in Denver, and they just awarded Nikola Jokic as the MVP of the league. He received 926 votes and 79 first place votes over the second place guy, Shai Gilgeous and Alexander from the Oklahoma City Thunder. And third place was Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks. So he had 926 points. Alexander had 640 points, and Luka Doncic had 566 points. Now, Giannis Antetokounmpo had 192 points for fourth place. Now, saying this, it is the first center in 6 decades to win the most valuable player 3 times in 4 seasons. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar also did it from 1973-74 season to 1976-77 season. He is also the ninth player in NBA history to win at least 3 MVPs, joining Abdul-Jabbar, who has 6, who has the most. Michael Jordan has 5. Bill Russell has 4. LeBron James has 4. And Wilt Chamberlain, Moses Malone, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson each have 3. So it is pretty awesome. Now, saying this, in his nice season, Jokic played in 79 games, the most since logging 80 games in the 2018-19 season. He also joined Wilt Chamberlain as the only players in NBA history to finish in the top 5 in total points, which he was 5th, rebounds, which he was 3rd, assists, which he was 2nd, in multiple seasons. And he is also the second player to record 2,000 points, 900 rebounds, and 600 assists in a season, joining the great Oscar Robertson. So I'm just telling you, he had a great season. But if they don't beat the Timberwolves and move on to the Western Conference Championship, all that is going to be for nothing, because that's what you're measured by. And so, so they've got it going now. Saying this, and I believe, and I can't remember if the Knicks won, so we're going to take a look. They had played. Right now the Celtics are up 14-9 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are leading Cleveland 1-0 in the series, with a chance to go up 2-0. So anyway, we're gonna go right here. And the Knicks won last night 130-121. So now they've got a 2-0 lead going into tomorrow night's game against Indiana at Indiana. So right now the Knicks are doing well. Mr. Walker, have you ever been a Knicks fan?
No, I wouldn't say that I was ever really a Knicks fan, no.
Well, you know that they have not won a championship since 1970, when Willis Reed walked into the locker room thinking that he was done and the Lakers were going to win the championship, and then he came back out, which some people say was the most inspirational act at that time, because Willis Reed did not produce a lot of points, but he inspired that team to beat the and I don't know if Wilt Chamberlain was on the team actually, but Jerry West was, and the Lakers always seem to have trouble winning, but the Knicks ended up taking care of business, and that's the last time that the New York Knicks
That's a
won the championship.
pretty long stretch in there.
It is a long stretch. Now
In 1970, was that before or was Kareem just going out there? He went out there what?
no Kareem Kareem was I think
He was with Milwaukee.
he came in like 71.
Okay.
I think that was the next year.
All right.
So, but yeah, Kareem went in because he played for UCLA in 68, either 69, 70, 71, something like
No,
that.
he played a year with Milwaukee, didn't he?
Right. No. I'm talking about for UCLA. No. I'm talking about that he was there. But then, yeah, he played for Milwaukee for.
Right.
I want to say it was like 79. That
Was it that late?
That he signed with the LA Lakers.
Okay.
Yeah, he was there before Magic Johnson was. But the reason why the Lakers ended up with Magic Johnson was because they had drafted him the year before. And at that time, you could draft a player and save him.
Okay.
You can't do that now. So, like, say me, and I am the top prospect, the team next year, whoever has the worst record, let's just say the Sacramento Kings, they cannot pick me this year to save for the rights to sign me. So they couldn't do that. But you could do that at that time. And in fact, ironically, it was right after Boston got Larry Bird and Lakers got Magic Johnson that they stopped doing that. So yeah, absolutely. So, and right now we have the Wells Fargo. The looks like Xander Schauffele is 3 strokes ahead of Corey or Morikawa from Japan. He's at -4, and Noren is also at -4 with Roy McIlroy. He's finally starting to show up, and he is -4 too. And then Jay Thomas is 5th with the -3. So the championship, and I want to say that Tiger tried to play in this, but I think he was waiting for the championship for next week, which they're going to have. So yeah, but I have a story to tell you.
Uh-oh.
Tuesday, I went golfing, and I went with my friend Scott Collins and Dave Gershon, who has a team in the Ban Johnson League, and Willie Aikens was playing golf with us.
Oh, okay.
Now, you remember Willie Aikens, right?
Yes.
So they were out there, and we were all playing, and it was a great day. And so my friend, we played the back 10 first. So then we got to the front 9 or back 9, and then we played the front 9 afterwards. So we got to par 3, and I want to say that was par 3, the 4th hole. Hits a shot, and mind you have to go uphill. So and the green is really not the easiest, especially if they place it in a certain area where it's not straight at all. So anyway, he takes a wicked shot, great shot. And so it bounces once and then it disappears. And we're going, oh yeah, you've probably hit it where I hit it, because I hit it way behind the green. So we go up there, all of us hit. We go up there, and so Willie goes up and he walks over to the hole and he takes a look. He's just kind of looking, and he goes, "Yeah, it's in the hole." And we're looking and we're like, yeah, right, whatever.
And that was a par what?
It was a par 3.
Okay.
It was a par 3. And so we go over there. So David and I go over there and we're like, yeah, whatever, And we take a look, and by golly, that ball was in the hole. It was the first time ever that I saw a hole in run. Now, you've seen it on TV, but but seeing it on TV is totally different.
Oh yeah,
than seeing
it's always different than live.
Oh my gosh! So I took my phone out, I videoed it, and showed where he hit because it bounced. Well, because of all the rain, nothing was dry. So when it hit, it like sunk in pretty good. But it sunk in and then right in the hole. No bouncing or anything.
They recognize at the clubhouse when you get back.
Right. So when we were done, so we took pictures and people, if you're listening to this, go to my Facebook and check it out. I've got pictures, I got video, and then we took the pictures of the scorecard. We all autographed it, and then Willie, he autographed the baseball, or not the baseball, but he autographed the golf ball that he hit it. So it was pretty awesome, and it is also in the Minor Golf Course, Minor Park Golf Course, their website. So you can go over there and check that out too. So that was pretty awesome. So playing with really good friends, and then have that happen. I'm like, it's never. I haven't even seen one that was like within 5 feet. That was probably the closest I ever saw. Was somebody did one 5 feet away from the hole at anywhere. So, but yeah, that was pretty. It was pretty cool, man. So
it makes it a day to remember.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So, we are now. With that, we are now at halftime on any given Sunday on KUAW. Coach 24, who is not here tonight, DJ Scatter, George Walker, and myself, Brian Kress, the Awesome Voice. We're going to take a break, and then when we get back, we will talk some more sports.
Well, I'll tell you. And now we're back with Brian, the awesome voice, and Any Given Sunday.
Well, thank you, Mr. Walker. I greatly appreciate Mr. DJ Scatter. So, uh, we are back. And so let's talk a little bit about the NHL. I know we rarely talk about it. Now, the reason why I don't personally talk about it is because the Buffalo Sabres are so horrible. They are my team. I love the Buffalo Sabres. I remember them from the French Connection in the 70s, Pat LaFontaine in the 80s and 90s, and Dominic Hasek as the Dominator. Oh my gosh! And that is another story. He's arguably one of the greatest goalies of all time. So, but let's say this: we've got the New York Rangers. Wow, I'm telling you what, the New York teams are starting to look good. Well, outside the New York Mets, but the New York Mets are 500 too, so that's not too bad. And the Yankees are tied with the Baltimore Orioles. They have one more win than Baltimore, but one more loss too. So they are tied. But the New York Rangers are up on the Carolina Hurricanes, 2-0, and they are playing. In fact, they are probably playing right now as we are speaking because it says 7 o'clock, but I believe it's 6 o'clock our time. So when we definitely after you listen to this wonderful show, the best sports show around, then you can watch the game, and it's on TNT. So definitely check it out. Now, the Bruins are playing the Florida Panthers, and so they have a 1-game lead. Correction, it is a 1-1 tie with Friday night. They are playing in Boston. So Boston struggled against the Toronto Maple Leafs. They had to go 7 games in order to beat the Maple Leafs. So now they are in another battle. They did win the first game 5-1, but the Panthers came back last night and won 6-1. So they are tied at 1. They play tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on TNT. So they'll check that out. Now, the Canucks played the Edmonton Oilers in the first game last night. The Canucks beat the Oilers 5-4 to take a 1-0 lead. And in the other one, the Colorado Avalanche is playing the Dallas Stars, which I do not like because they beat the Buffalo Sabres in the 1998 Stanley Cup, which kept Buffalo from winning. So I don't like them or Brett Hall. They cheated everything. So, and my rules, my game, and I'm saying that. So anyway, Colorado is up 1-0 after a 4-3 overtime victory over the Dallas Stars, and tonight they will play at 8:30 on TNT. So roughly after the game of the Rangers and the Hurricanes. So definitely check that out. Now, here is a thing that I was taking a look at. They have football, not pro football, college football. So they have the early, what they call the way too early top 25 rankings. So, and I want to check this because Missouri has the best chance since they were playing when they first started playing at the SEC in the Eastern Conference and could have easily have won. Ended up losing, I believe, to Auburn and LSU those years. But we have the top 25 ranking. So Georgia is number 1. And then last year they were I'm trying to see what the and it's off season at midpoint, and the rankings from January in parentheses. So, what the rankings were at the end of last season, Georgia was number one. Texas is number two, 12-2. That's their last year record, and they were number four. Ohio State 11-2, and they were number 9. Then you've got number 4 Oregon, and they're 12-2, and they were 7th. Alabama was 12-2. They are 5th. And this is going to be an interesting season. This is going to be the first season without Nick Saban. So this is really, really going to be interesting to see how this, see either how well Nick Saban is a head coach, or just how lacking the team is without him. So we're definitely going to have to check that out. But anyway, Alabama's 5th. Ole Miss is 11-2, or were 11-2 last year, and 5th. So you already have 3 teams in the top 6 from the SEC, which is always the strongest conference in football. You got number 7, Notre Dame, 10-3, and they were 6th. And then you've got number 8, Oklahoma is 10-3, and they are also, because this is their first season in the SEC, so this is going to be really interesting for Texas and Oklahoma. And I totally forgot, Texas is in the SEC. So actually, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in the top 8, and make that 5 in the top 9, with Missouri number 9, 11-2, and they were 14th. Now, this is their year. They either need to win it all, or they're going to bust big time. And I really hope, as a Missouri fan, I know that we're going to figure out, or we're going to say that they're going to figure out a way to totally blow it. But I really feel confident about this team this year. They don't have the strongest schedule, so they're not like playing Oklahoma and Texas and Alabama and LSU and all those. Now, they will play Tennessee, they will play Florida, but they play them every year. And they've always had played Tennessee tough, so I'm not even worried about that. But, I just totally I'm just sitting here go, oh man, gosh, this is going to be awesome. Hopefully they will do better, because the last time that they were number one was in 2008 season. It was, I believe, the 2008 season when they had Chase Daniel, Jeremy Maclin, Weatherspoon. Chase Kaufman. They had arguably the best team ever assembled at Missouri. So let's go Mizzou. Number 10, Clemson, 9-4 and 11th. Number 11, Michigan. So they're going to be in a transaction year with Jim Harbaugh leaving for the Los Angeles Chargers. So we'll have to see how Michigan does, if they will just keep it rolling or if they will stumble some. Then you got number 12. You got Utah, which is 8-5 and 16, and then you've got LSU. So that's the 6th. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th team in the top 13. LSU was 10-3 last year, but they lost their Heisman Trophy winner, and parentheses 10. So then we've got 14th, North Carolina State, 9-4 and 21. Now, like we said, this is way too early, but I enjoy watching this because football is awesome. And then you've got Florida State, which is 13-1. They missed out in the college playoff because they lost their quarterback. But we'll have to see how they will do this year, see if they can come back and get that taken care of. And they were 18. And then number 16 is Penn State, 10-3. Then you've got Tennessee, the number 8 team in the SEC, and they are 9-4. They're 17th, 9-4 and 12. Then you've got 18th Oklahoma State at 10-4 last year and 20. Then you've got Kansas. So Kansas, this is pretty cool. So, and I know I'm not a Kansas fan, but the fact that Kansas is in here, I know it brings hope for the city, as we will have 2 of the 3 teams, with K-State the other one, but I don't know where they're at, if they are in there. But they were 9-4 last year, and optimism reigns because quarterback Jalen Daniels is back, and he is healthy and shown in the spring that he should be electric if he can stay on the field this fall. They have plenty of weapons for him, starting with Devin Neal, running back, and the team's top 3 receivers from last season. That's always a plus. So whether this team pushes to reach its full potential will be determined by the defense. Find pass rushers is the biggest concern. By Joby, a late arrival from Michigan State, could possibly help that. And then you've got number 20, Arizona. They are 10-3 and 13. And then Kansas State, so the third city team. So we've got all 3 of our college teams in the top 25, and they are 21st with a 9-4 and a non-ranking, not ranked from last year. So we'll just have to see how they will do this year. And then number 22, Southern Cal, 8-5. So they lost Caleb Williams. So now we're going to see how well they really are. And they were in parentheses 19th. So Virginia Tech is 23 with a 7-6 record from last year, and 25. And 24th, which have them at 24th, is Iowa at 10-4, and we'll have to see how they do. The departure of Brian Fuentes, we'll have to see on them. And then 25 is the Memphis Tigers. I was getting ready to say Memphis Grizzlies from the NBA, but no. They were 10-3 with a 23. And then teams that just missed: Washington, Texas A&M, another SEC team, Boise State, and the Miami Hurricanes. So anyway, so let's get back to baseball. So the Royals have been doing very well. There are only 2, 5, 6, 7. There's only 7 teams in the American League with 20 or more wins, and the Royals are one of them. Actually, with 22 wins, only Baltimore, the New York Yankees, and the Cleveland Guardians have more wins in the American League than the Kansas City Royals. They are playing well, but I still hate when they lose these games that they had a shot at winning. I know James MacArthur had been pitching very well. He has given up a couple of losses in the last few, but saying that, they had a home stretch where they were 500, but they needed to win 4 out of 6. instead of 3 out of 3. But it's good. They are playing at Anaheim. Now, they need to take care of business with Anaheim the same way they would take care of business with the Chicago White Sox. They need to get this going. Now, the problem with the Angels is I don't know what the problem is. Their upper management must work for the United States Post Office, because I'm telling you what, they don't have money issues. They have paid for Oshani Ohtani, Mike Trout, Albert Pujols. I mean, they do not have problems paying out money for these players. But they have the third worst record in the American League. And if the Royals are going to be considered contenders, they need to go in and just take all 3 games. Yes, I know they're on the road. They should win 2 out of 3, or if they split with this one and the next series with the Seattle Mariners, just get it done. But saying that, we need to take care of business, and they have been doing that pretty well so far. Even though a lineup is not that well, now we have a strong second through 5 with Bobby Witt, and you got Miguel Garcia, but Garcia has not been playing well. He has been playing a little bit better of late, but still he needs to get better, very good, or get better and very soon. But you have Bobby Witt, you have Vinny Pasquantino, you have Salvador Perez, and you had Melendez, but actually Massey has the one that stepped up and get it in there. So if Melendez can get in there and start hitting the ball like he was earlier in the season, then the lineup will be very formidable. Yes, I know. It is it's the greatest sport with the most. You can have the most mistakes. Tony Gwynn, whose birthday is today, he would have been 64 years old. He is my favorite baseball player of all time, and even Bobby Witt right now hasn't overtaken him as my favorite player. Tony Gwynn is my favorite player, and he will always be my favorite player. But saying that, Tony Gwynn still got over 66% outs. That should tell you something. It is a hard sport, and I would have trouble hitting a fastball too. So, but saying that, they just need to get better and everything else. So, but if they can just keep it going, and they have a great shot. I really like what they're doing. They are getting better. And I wish Coach 24 was here, because I definitely had some questions that I could ask him. So hopefully next week on the show that he will be in, and we can talk about that big time. So, but right now in the American League, still the Eastern Division is still the strongest division, but the Central Division is just as good. Now, Toronto is in last place, but they're only 17-20, whereas the Central Division, the Chicago White Sox are 8-28. But saying that, the other 4 teams in both divisions are over 500. From Cleveland, Kansas City is 2.5 back. Now, I don't know if they played. Yeah, so they are 2.5 games back going into tonight's game. Minnesota is a half a game back behind the Royals. And then Detroit, who is also playing pretty decent, is 5 back from Cleveland. And then you've got the Western Division. You have Texas. And Texas was so frustrating because we could have taken 2 out of 3 from Texas. That would have really helped our Eagles going. they are in first place, a half a game ahead of Seattle. And Oakland is actually have a better record than the Angels or the Houston Astros. They are 17-20. And then you have the Angels, and then you have Houston. Now you have the National League, where you have the Philadelphia Phillies, who have won 12 games in a row. And I think the other team was Minnesota. I know Minnesota had an 11-game winning streak. So there's at least two teams that have won 11 games or more so far this season, the Twins and the Phillies. And with that, they took a 2.5-game lead over the Atlanta Braves, who are 21-19. Now you got the Washington Nationals, who are one game above 500 at 18-17, and they are 6.5 games back. And then you got the Mets that are 18-18, and then you got the Miami Marlins, which are at 10-28. And then you had the Milwaukee Brewers, who lost 2 or 3 from the Royals. And I'm glad that they did that, but they should have swept them. They are in first place at 21-15. Chicago is tied at 22-16, and then you have Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and St. Louis on the bottom. That is so sad. So sad, isn't that right, Mr. Walker? No. Yeah. He just point blankly just said no. And then you've got the Dodgers with Ohtani just hitting monster shots, playing very well. They are 25-13, and I would say they have the best record in baseball. Yes, half a game ahead of Baltimore and New York. And then San Diego is in second place with a 20-20 record. So go Padres. I'm loving that big time. Then you got Arizona at 16-20. San Francisco at 16-21, and Colorado at 8-27. So we are at the end of Any Given Sunday on KUAW. Coach 24, my brother with another mother, Darwin Penny. Even though he wasn't here, he was here in spirit. We've got DJ Scatter, George Walker running the show for us behind the scenes. Thank you very much again for your contributions. There we go. I'll say that right. And I am Brian Kress, the awesome voice. Be awesome, not angry, and you guys have yourself a phenomenal sports weekend. I love you, Mom and Dad.